Well, what the American people are seeing right now is not just horrifying. It's a direct result of choices and policies implemented by the Trump administration. The killings of Renee Good and Alex Preddy in Minneapolis, tragic killings seen now by millions and millions of Americans, are horrific and can never be accepted. And it helps importune us to rein in ICE and end the violence. Under President Trump, Secretary Noem and Stephen Miller, ICE has been unleashed without guardrails. They violate constitutional rights all the time, and they're deliberately refusing to coordinate with state and local law enforcement. This is not border security. This is not law and order. This is chaos, created at the top and felt in so many of our neighborhoods. Americans support law enforcement and secure borders, but they do not support a federal agency that routinely operates above the law. They do not support Americans getting killed on their streets and in their neighborhoods. What ICE is doing is state-sanctioned thuggery. It must stop. Republicans must work with Democrats to find legislative solutions to restore order and public safety. Congress has the authority and the moral obligation to act. What's missing is Republican will to act. After talking with my caucus, Senate Democrats are united on a set of common sense and necessary policy goals that we need to rein in ICE and end the violence. Our caucus is unified over three main legislative objectives. First, we want to end roving patrols. We need to tighten the rules governing the use of warrants and require ICE's coordination with state and local law enforcement. Second, we want to enforce accountability. There needs to be a uniform code of conduct and accountability. Federal agents should be held to the same use of force policies that apply to state and local law enforcement and be held accountable when they violate these rules, including we need independent investigations to help enforce accountability. Third, we want masks off, body cameras on. Federal agents must be prohibited from wearing masks. They must be required to use body cameras, and they also always have to carry proper identification. No more anonymous agents, no more secret operatives. These are common sense reforms, ones that Americans know and expect from law enforcement. If Republicans refuse to support them, they are choosing chaos over order, plain and simple. They are choosing to protect ICE from accountability over American lives. Let me be clear. Democrats stand ready today to pass the 5 bipartisan bills in the Senate. But the DHS bill needs serious work, and Republicans and Democrats alike owe it to the American people to get it right. It's now on Leader Thune to separate out the DHS bill, just as Speaker Johnson did in the House, and start working with Democrats to rein in ICE, imposing oversight, accountability, and empowering local law enforcement in our communities. Our communities deserve it. The American people deserve it. She asked me a question in the hall, and I said, come here, so she did.
Leader Schumer, would you accept a separate bill outside of the appropriations bill that would contain some of your demands? And what's your conversation like with the White House, specifically on what you're asking?
The White House has had no specific good concrete ideas. In terms of there's two simple things to do to get this done. And we want to get it done, and we want to get it done quickly. Number one, Leader Thune has to separate the Homeland Security bill out from the other 5. He can simply put an amendment on the floor to do that. So it's simple to do, and I am quite confident it would pass overwhelmingly. Already I've seen 6 or 7 Republicans say they would vote for it. So that's what we should do, and then we should sit down and come up with strong proposals to reform ICE and rein in ICE and end the violence. Yes, yes.
As you know, a substantial portion of DHS is already funded, including with increased funding for ICE. So what exactly are you hoping to achieve by withholding funding?
What we need to do is very simple again. Rein in ICE and end the violence. That's our goal.
Leadership, there's 3 demands that you laid out at the top of this press conference. Is that a red line for you, or are you willing to compromise off that list?
Look, our number one goal, these are 3 policy areas we think must be done. But what we want to do is negotiate with the Republicans and come up with a proposal that, again, reins in ICE and ends the violence.
Leadership,
Yes, Sahil.
would you be supportive of a CR for DHS while you do these negotiations, or should funding lapse in your view while it happens?
Let me tell you, first, if funding lapses, it's all because of Leader Thune. It's on his back. He could easily fund 96% of the budget by simply putting the 5 bills on the floor. As I said, he can just do that by taking DHS out, which he can do by an amendment. And we could, I think, given the need to do this, we could very quickly negotiate a bipartisan proposal in DHS to end the violence and rein them in. Yes. Good afternoon. We have a polite journalist.
Thank you. I was raised right.
Maybe when you start your next question, you say, "Good afternoon, Senator Schumer."
Hey, he's from the Midwest, too, so Midwest nuts.
I don't think so. Hope springs eternal.
In any event, how do you lose leverage if you don't get what you want on this? And if there is a shutdown, how you explain this to the air traffic controller or the TSA agent who is not getting paid again?
Go talk to Leader Thune. We've laid out a plan, and that's the way to go. And that's where we're headed. Okay? Yes, way down there.
Have you had conversations with Leader Thune? Is he open to splitting off the funding?
Look, first I wanted to talk to my caucus, and we had a very good discussion, and we are unified. And let me just say this, as you've heard from Senator Padilla and Senator Murray, you heard their passion. Our caucus is passionate about doing this. We hate seeing Americans killed in the streets or anybody killed on the streets. But we also realize that this puts our democracy at risk. It's a force of thuggery. The federal government is supporting a large force of thuggery, and we really worry about its consequences for America if we don't rein them in. Thank you, everybody.
Thank you.